Well, hello and welcome to Madrid. We arrived at the Royal Palace of Madrid, which was truly a gigantic and beautiful property. When you bite into a Spanish croqueta, you're biting into a creamy, melt-in-your-mouth, heavenly taste. La Plaza Mayor, let me say it like someone from Spain. La Plaza Mayor. This is probably my favorite place in Madrid so far, and yesterday I went to the Royal Palace, so that's saying something. Hello and welcome to another episode of Mantar. Thank you all so much for coming back. If it's your first time, welcome to the show. And today, my friends, we are starting a really exciting journey through Spain that's going to be told in 4 parts. And the first part, that's this video today, is going to be, if you didn't guess by my shirt, the capital city of Madrid. And I had a really great time there. So I don't want to talk your head off too much in the intro. Really quick before we get started, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button. It is of no cost to you, but it is tremendously helpful to me. Also, leave a like, leave a comment, hit that little notification bell so you do not miss future Mantar videos. I know you don't want to miss future Mantar videos. I have 3 other cities in Spain that I visited, and those videos are coming out very soon, as well as my travel experience on Spain's rail system. Also, when we're done with the Spain series, I do have another video coming out after that, and that's going to be for a local Northeast beach vacation getaway. Plenty of fun stuff coming up on Mantar, so please be sure to do all the things. So, with that out of the way, here is my experience in Madrid in July of 2024 on the latest episode of Mantar Global, starting right now. Okay, so good morning, early risers. It is about 8:40 a.m. and we are arriving in Madrid's Barajas Airport. Classic flight from the United States to Europe. We took off around 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday and we arrived at 8:40 a.m. on Wednesday after about 6.5 hours. So it was a very short night, and if you're anything like me, you're incredibly jet lagged the first day in Europe and exhausted. But now is not the time to sleep. It was time to get my taxi and to get into the city center of Madrid. And from my taxi window, my first impressions of the city were giving me very aesthetically pleasing vibes, very comfortable city, pretty buildings and nice people out and about walking around. And I was very fortunate that my hotel did have a room ready for me when I arrived at 10 a.m. because check-in is not until 3. So shout out to my hotel for making that happen for me. I stayed at the DoubleTree by Hilton Prado, and disclaimer, they cannot guarantee check-in before the scheduled check-in time. I just happened to be lucky that day. So after a quick rest, a shower, and maybe a 15-minute cat nap, I was up and at 'em and on my way into the city. Well, hello and welcome to Madrid. Bienvenido a Madrid. I just arrived this morning. Forgive the circles under my eyes. I'm a little jet lagged and a little tired, but I'm super excited to be here and to start off this Spain journey. So our first stop today is El Palacio Real, or the Royal Palace of Madrid. The Royal Palace of Madrid is the largest royal palace in all of Europe. It is the official residence of the Spanish royal family, but apparently is only used for state ceremonies at this point in time, and is a very popular tourist attraction. So that is our first stop of the day, and I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to film, but I will try to do some of it, and come join me. Spain is going to be a special country for me because I was raised speaking Spanish. My family has Mexican heritage, and my Spanish isn't perfect. I've lived in the U.S. my whole life, but still I can speak the language here better than probably most other places I would go. So I'm just really excited for this trip. And so we arrived at the Royal Palace of Madrid, which was truly a gigantic and beautiful property and is a sight to behold even on the outside, with its expansive grounds and with the Almudena Cathedral directly next to it, where we even got to hear some bells chime. And welcome to the Royal Palace of Madrid. This place is huge. First stop here is a guided tour in Spanish of the royal kitchens. I paid a little extra for that because I was curious. And it was a really interesting tour. They took us through a bunch of different rooms that were all pretty much bigger than my apartment in New York City, just dedicated toward the preparation of food for the royal family and their guests, with gigantic tables and ovens and pots and mugs and all kinds of interesting things. I do believe I saw a stove that was larger than my bedroom in there. Now, 2 things you need to know about the royal kitchens. 1, the only way to get in there is with a guided tour. So that's the first thing. You do need to book a guided tour, and the tour is an extra cost to your admission ticket. And number 2, the guided tour is only available in Spanish. I will say, if you don't speak Spanish, it could still be an interesting thing to do because there is information on the walls about each room, and those are provided in both English and Spanish, so you can read up a little bit about each individual room. But the fact is if you don't speak Spanish, you won't be able to understand the tour guide. So that's something to take into account. So after the tour of the royal kitchens, my general admission ticket got me into the upstairs rooms, and boy, were they some kind of grand. First of all, to get to the upstairs rooms, you have to go up the grand staircase in the middle of the palace, which was a sight in and of itself. And then the best way to describe walking into the rooms upstairs was almost like walking into a painting. I truly felt like I was walking into and out of beautiful works of art. The walls and ceilings of each room were so beautifully painted, and a lot of times they had furniture that matched the walls and the ceiling, so it really came together cohesively. This grand banquet hall in the palace was one of my favorite rooms. It was probably bigger in terms of square footage than most people's entire houses. Other interesting rooms of note were the royal chapel and the throne room. And so with the royal palace out of the way, I had to go find something to eat. So we just left the royal palace, which was magnificent, absolutely gorgeous. And I bought a tote bag. And now we are on our way to El Mercado San Miguel. This has been recommended to me by multiple people, so we are going to check it out. I'm starving, so we're gonna go find some lunch. And the people who recommended the Mercado to me did not disappoint. The Mercado San Miguel, like the other mercados in Spain, is basically a gigantic food hall with all kinds of different things to eat. They had all kinds of Spanish classics like croquetas, empanadas. They had all kinds of meat and fish. There was even a dim sum stand. But for my first lunch in Spain, I wanted to eat light, but I wanted to eat classics. So I got empanadas and croquetas. Croquetas would end up being a recurring theme on this trip because I thought I had eaten croquettes in the past. No. When you bite into a Spanish croqueta, you're biting into a creamy, melt-in-your-mouth, heavenly taste. Which is interesting because most croquetas in Spain are meat-filled, but you wouldn't even know it because it's just soft and juicy, and I don't even know how to describe it properly in the video. When you go to Spain, you need to eat croquetas. And so with lunch out of the way, I have to say, the next thing I did was dinner because I needed to go rest in my hotel room. The jet lag had really caught up with me. So fast forward to about 8 o'clock in the evening. Yes, 8 o'clock in the evening, because no one in Spain eats dinner until at least 8 o'clock, and many don't eat until 9 or even 10. But my American ass was like, 8 o'clock, I'm already starving. And I went and checked out this place called Taberna el Sur. I had read good reviews online, and the good reviews were absolutely correct. First of all, this place was like a little hole in the wall place. I almost missed it. It's like this unassuming, you could pass by it, there's no fanfare, but you go in and you're immediately taken care of. My waiter was Manuel, he was fantastic. Shout out to Manuel if you're watching this. Thank you so much, my friend. I had a great dinner. So I started out with an agua con gas, which is the Spanish way of saying seltzer water. And then I had 3 medias raciones. In Spain, a lot of times in restaurants, the dishes will be in a ración or a media ración. Media ración, media means half. So you can get a half portion of a lot of dishes in Spain, which served me great because then I could get a couple of things and try different things on the menu. So my raciones for the evening were jamón ibérico, ropa vieja, and chiprones a la plancha, which is to say Iberic ham, shredded beef, and grilled squid. Now, this was my first night in Spain, and it was my first time trying jamón ibérico. Oh my God. It is the best ham I've ever tasted. If you are in Spain, you must eat jamón ibérico. It is so utterly delicious, and I had it many more times when I was there. And the ropa vieja and the chiprones did not disappoint, not one bit. Taberna el Sur might have been one of my favorite restaurants my whole time in Spain, and I was in 4 different cities. And of course, a little cafe, cafecito, if you will, to round out the evening. And with that, my jet lag was telling me, say goodnight, so good night. Okay, day 2. All right, guys, good morning. It is almost noon, but that's how we do it here in Spain. It's good morning at almost noon. We are currently just outside the Prado Museum and Museo del Prado. And I know for a fact, almost certainly, that I'm not going to be able to take any pictures or video in here because they've plastered that all over the online websites and stuff. But it still feels like a must when you go to Madrid. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I just finished up at the Prado Museum, and as expected, I was not allowed to take any pictures or video in there. Sorry, there were birds over there. It scared me. I was not allowed to take any pictures or video as expected, and that was okay. I have to say, like, I'm not like the biggest art museum person. Like, the paintings in there were like undoubtedly like beautiful and timeless, and you know, gigantic canvases full of a lot of religious paintings, to be frank. You know, it was a lot of Catholic art. That makes sense in a country that has a lot of Catholicism in its history, and you know, is undoubtedly gorgeous works of art, sculptures, beautiful things. But you know, you might come at me in the comments for this, but a lot of times I go to art museums and I think this all looks the same. You know, I spent about an hour and a half in there, and afterwards I was like, yeah, I've seen it, you know, and I've seen paintings just like this at the Met back home, and I've seen paintings just like this in other art museums in various different places I've visited. So, you know, beautiful. If you're into art, definitely check out the Prado. But for me, I was pretty much done in an hour and a half. I was like, okay, I saw what I wanted to see, and that's cool. That's it. So on to the next thing. Okay, so now we're on our way to check out Retiro Park, Parque del Retiro. It's the big quote-unquote central park in Madrid, and we'll spend a little bit of time there. So the park looked kind of grand with its large gates on the outside, and I thought, oh, you know, they're very proud of this park, but nothing could have prepared me for what I found when I went inside. It was like stepping into a royal garden. That's as best as I can say it. And as it turns out, the park used to be owned by Spanish royals, and it used to be for their use. So I suppose I can see why that they've kept it up like that. But as a New Yorker, as an American, I said in the video walking up there, it was like Madrid's Central Park. It is nothing like Central Park. You're in beautiful gardens with everything perfectly manicured and picturesque trees that look too good to be real. There are beautiful and clean walking paths and fountains and a little body of water right in the middle of the park that people were taking rowboats out on. And let's everyone give a little love to Tanya and Adrian. Best of luck, Tanya and Adrian. I do hope it's been working out for you two.
I absolutely love it here. This is probably my favorite place in Madrid so far. And yesterday I went to the Royal Palace, so that's saying something. This park is beautiful. On the way here, I was talking about this is like Central Park in Spain, because that was basically my reference point, but it is nothing like Central Park. It's like stepping into like some very wealthy person's backyard. It's clean. It's shockingly free of homeless people for like a free city park. It didn't cost me anything to get in. I just walked right in like everybody else, and it's just upscale is what I first thought when I walked in here. It is like, I can't believe this is a public park. It's absolutely mind-blowing coming from like the States where like Central Park is nice, but it's like full of rats and homeless people. And at least today it's not. I mean, I'm here on a Thursday afternoon. I don't know what it's like on the weekends, but my impression of Retiro Park is like A+. I would come here all the time if I lived in Madrid.
So after the park, I took a little walk in Salamanca in Madrid. This is one of the wealthiest areas of Madrid, just so I could do a little window shopping and take a look at the nice restaurants. And I stopped in for a little lunch at a place called Ocafu, and I had 2 half raciones, one of croquetas, can't go wrong, and the other of empanadas de bonito. So then after lunch, I did my first ride on the Madrid Metro. I had done a lot of walking that day, so I thought it's a good time to try the Metro. And the Madrid Metro is very interesting because in one very important way, it's like the New York City subway in that you just swipe in to go into the system. You don't need to swipe out. And that is something I have not seen anywhere else in Europe. But in all the other important ways, it was completely not like the New York City subway. It was absolutely clean. I didn't see any rodents or other vermin anywhere. And I generally felt very, very safe on the trains. Aside from your odd beggar or two, there was really nothing that felt dangerous. Maybe I have a little PTSD from the New York City subway these last 5-6 years when it's turned into a hellhole. But it was nice to be on a very clean and safe feeling subway system. So like the Spanish, I fell into a bit of a habit of taking a little afternoon siesta in my hotel room. So again, just like day one, after lunch, into the hotel room, and I didn't come back out till dinner. And I went to Casa Alberto, which was another internet recommendation. And after the tapa of queso that they gave me, I sat down and I ordered 2 half raciones, one of jamón ibérico. You'll see during these travel videos that when I find one thing I like, I eat a lot of it. And to be a little bit adventurous here, my other ración was callos a la madrilena, which is to say tripe. Now, if you don't know what tripe is, it is the edible lining of a cow's stomach. I'll let you all have whatever reaction you're gonna have to that. I'll wait just a second. Okay, now that we're done freaking out, it is, as it suggests, the edible lining of a cow's stomach. It is edible. It is a perfectly good dish. The taste does take some getting used to, I'm not gonna lie, but I think overall I did really enjoy it. Let's get my immediate reaction.
So tripe, very interesting taste. Not for everyone, I will tell you that. I liked it, but it's not something that I would probably order again. But it was cool to try. I liked it. I ate the whole plate. But yeah, very much an acquired taste.
Okay, day 3.
Buenos dias, mi gente, and welcome to day 3 of Madrid. We are on our way for a little breakfast out. I have to have a tortilla de patata. I've heard that that's like a very classic Spanish breakfast, and I had one yesterday at the hotel, but I feel like I want to get a real one. So we are off to La Maruca. I've been recommended this place for really good tortillas, so I'm hoping that we're gonna have good breakfast.
So after another quick jaunt on the metro, we arrived at La Maruca, and kudos to my Spanish friend who recommended this place to me. It lived up to the hype. The tortilla de patata was so good. And I complimented it with a little café and a zumo de naranja natural, which is to say a freshly squeezed orange juice. There's a lot of freshly squeezed orange juice in Spain, and you can get it all kinds of places when you're over there. And so with breakfast out of the way, it was time to hit up a couple of places that you can't leave Madrid without seeing. The first of which is the Puerta del Sol. Now, to be perfectly honest, Puerta del Sol gave me kind of Times Square-ish vibes. There's a lot of touristy stores all around, but it is a large town square type place, and it is worth seeing.
The sign behind me is in honor of my tío Pepe. He was my great uncle, passed away a while ago now, but had to give him a shout out with the sign.
And then just a few steps away from the Puerta del Sol, we went to the Plaza Mayor. And the Plaza Mayor really does impress. It is a beautiful square in the middle of Madrid.
La Plaza Mayor. Let me say it like someone from Spain. La Plaza Mayor. Qué lindo, qué bonito.
Just like the Puerta del Sol, it is a bit touristy, but it doesn't quite have the Times Square-ish look that Puerta del Sol has. The Plaza Mayor does kind of retain its sort of old world Spanish charm, even if it is tourist type stores. And the funniest thing here, something I had never seen before in my life, was an entire store devoted to rubber ducks. Apparently it's a big thing in multiple cities in Europe. Who the hell knew? I found so much amusement in that store. It was really funny. And the nice sales lady in this one store convinced me to buy this little figurine of the dancing woman. She says this is a very iconic symbol to Madrid, and it would be a good memento to take home. And so I said sure. And so here she is. And there was also a store where I bought my little Madrid t-shirt. So, repping the Madrid in this video. Gotta love it. And so, after the plaza, I had to go and find, I think it's actually pronounced La Chocolateria San Gines. I was calling it San Gines, but that's bad Spanish, Matt. I should know better. At any rate, it is a famous place for chocolate con churros, and so I could not pass up the opportunity. Oh my word, was that something I had never quite tasted before. The rich hot chocolate that wasn't even too sugary, it was just, I can't explain it. It was so good.
The best thing about that chocolate is that it was not too sweet. Like, I really, I can't do too much sweet in the middle of the day. And it was so good. It was so good. You gotta go to La Chocolateria San Gines. Or San Gines, I guess? I don't know how you would pronounce that. My instinct is to say San Gines, but that would ignore Spanish rules. So, but either way, you gotta try it. If you're in Madrid, you gotta try it.
And so then I took a little walk up to the Gran Via, which is a street in Madrid. It's called Gran Via, but it's supposed to be like a major like shopping thoroughfare.
Okay, we are on Calle Gran Via, and it is supposed to be like lots of shopping and big commercial streets. So let's see if there's anything. Let's see if there's anything fun over here.
So what ended up happening was I walked up Gran Via for a little bit and then it kind of forked, and I took one side of the fork, which I thought was a continuation of the street, and there was all kinds of shopping on that street that I went down. And I even stopped in a store, I was checking out some of the clothes, and then I came out and I checked my maps on my phone, and I had veered off of Gran Via. So I went to the end of that shopping section and I took a left and I found myself back on the other end of Gran Via, and I walked up the street that I hadn't gone up, and there wasn't a whole lot of shopping. So I was a little bit confused. I don't know if what I went down is called like Gran Via, like the shopping center. Somebody tell me in the comments, because the actual street Gran Via, I didn't find a whole lot of shopping. There was some, there were some stores, but I didn't find a whole lot of shopping. I don't know. One thing I will say about the shopping center area that I found is that was the first time in Madrid that I got the sort of dirt, grime, garbage, homeless people type situation. I really wasn't seeing it much in most of the other parts of Madrid I was in, but on that strip of shopping center, which was not on Gran Via, but whatever it was, there was homeless people, drug addicts, and overflowing garbage. So then a quick siesta in my hotel, and then dinner time.
Okay, so I'm in a little bit of a more neighborhoody section of Madrid now for my last evening. I'm going to a restaurant called Casa de Valencia because I want to try a Valencian paella. I'm not going to be able to get to Valencia on this trip, so I'm going to do the second best thing.
So one thing to note about Casa de Valencia is that the paella is minimum 2 people. And that's true of a lot of paella places, actually. So if you're traveling solo like I was, the paella might be hard to find a single person portion. I wanted the paella bad enough that I ordered the portion for 2 people and I took some home with me. Specifically, I wanted to try the Valencian paella because a lot of paella in Spain is seafood nowadays, but apparently the original Valencian paella is chicken and rabbit, and that's how it was originally conceived. So I wanted to try the OG paella. So after starting off my meal with a little gazpacho, it was pretty good, although I had a much better cold soup when I was in the south of Spain. Keep an eye out for that video coming out very soon. I did have an excellent paella. Something to note, all the meat is on the bone in the paella, so you do need to eat around the bones. That's something I wish I would have known before I ordered this. It wasn't the worst catastrophe in the world. I just had to use my knife and fork a little bit more than I thought I was gonna have to. And then for dessert, I had a little tarta de chocolate, and they very kindly gave me a little dessert plate with some dried candied fruits and a little liqueur, which unfortunately had to stay undrank because I don't drink.
I am so unbelievably full, but that paella was incredible. So good.
So then I was gonna go do one more thing before the end of the day, but...
So major fail. I was gonna go to this place called the Temple of Debod, I think. Debod? I don't know, it's Egyptian, I guess. It's supposedly this really cool ancient Egyptian temple from like some ancient BC time that they sent over here to Madrid. And I don't know how I didn't find this before, but they close at 8 and it's after 8 and I'm leaving Madrid tomorrow. So, fail for Mantar. Wanted to show you guys in the video. It's not gonna happen, but oh well. Next time.
Drop a comment if you've been there. Would it have been worth it for me to go? And that was pretty much it. After that, it was back to my hotel room, packing my bags, and getting ready to head to the south of Spain the next morning.
All right, all packed up and ready to head out, but for now, good night.
And good morning! And time to get showered, get dressed, and make our way out of Madrid. So sad.
So after a little breakfast in the hotel, it was time to get the luggage squared away, head on out, and head over to Madrid Puerta Del Sol train station. And that, my friends, concludes my experience in Madrid. I had an overall excellent time in Madrid. I really like that city. It is very clean. It feels very safe, at least the parts I was in. Drop a comment if you've been to a bad area or if you know of bad areas there, because I didn't experience that whatsoever. The people in Madrid were some of the nicest people in Spain that I encountered. There was some crankiness in other cities, and if you stay tuned for my other videos on Spain, you'll hear all about it. But the people in Madrid were overwhelmingly nice. Madrid really felt like a city that the people cared to take care of. Between Retiro Park, which was beautiful and immaculate, and a lot of the streets which were just gorgeous with trees planted and very nice things, I just felt like this was a place that people like to call home. And I really just very much enjoyed the city. I got a really good vibe in Madrid. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. If you've ever been to Madrid, did you have the same feeling as me? Anything I missed while I was there? I had 3 full days pretty much, so I certainly didn't get to see absolutely everything that I could have. But from my impression of being in Madrid, it is 100,000 billion% worth visiting. I would highly recommend Madrid to anyone as a destination. And so with that, stay tuned for the next video, which is gonna be the south of Spain. It was very interesting and I can't wait to show it to all of you. But until then, and until we meet again, everyone out there in YouTube land, have a wonderful afternoon, evening, night, morning, whatever time of day you're watching this. I love you all very much, and I will see you in the south of Spain in the next one. Bye-bye.